You look familiar, Brianna. I don't know why.
It's Penn State.
That's why.
Penn State. It's Penn
We
State.
bleed blue and white,
Yes, yes.
I hope you know what it's taking. You know this cookies for the bag. Kitty, kitty, baby, get her things to rest. Cause you done beat it like the 68 Jets.
Hello, my name is Brianna, also known as Miss Wright, and I'm here on behalf of EURweb. Thank you for chatting with us. We appreciate it.
Hey, Brianna. I'm sorry. Would you say they call you?
Miss Wright.
Miss Wright. Okay. What's up,
Yes.
Miss Wright? How you doing?
Good, and yourself?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome. I can't even lie to you. It was such a pleasure to see that you were on this show. I guarantee
Thank you.
you are going to be a fan favorite for sure.
I appreciate you.
Can you tell us a little bit about your character, Ian, and what you think he brings to the show?
I think he brings lots to the show. So first off, who is Ian? Ian is he's a very talented, gifted, very studied, like artistic chef. And he's on the brink of this whole new life, emotionally, spiritually, financially, getting this new job over in Paris. And he's a very driven, passionate person. And it's kind of left him in conflict between, two of his biggest passions. One's cooking and one is Camille. Where we're introduced to him, he's like dead in the middle of a conflict between them. And, at the end of the day, he's like us. He's like us all. He's a man that's in process, trying to figure out who he is and what's going on with his life.
Right, and who can't relate to that?
Yeah, I feel like everybody, it's a very relatable experience, I feel like.
Meagan, I'm going to kick it off with you. I would love to know if you at all relate or resonate with Camille, your character, or do you think that the audience will resonate with her in any particular way?
I do. I resonate with her so much. When I read the script, I thought to myself, like, this is the first time I'm seeing myself in a character in this type of like setting, and I just, I love that she is messy, she's a boss and she has it together, but on the flip side, she's vulnerable and she could be insecure and she could be trying to figure it out, and then she can be this and she can be that. And I think that we all can relate to that to some degree, because that is true for all of us in some way, shape, or form. And then for me, she's awkward and she's a nerd and she's quirky, and that is me in real life, and it's a character that I haven't got a chance to play, or a side of myself that I haven't got a chance to show, that people don't really know unless you really know me, that I am the person who tells the joke and everyone's like, oh no, Meagan, oh baby, it's okay, I'm that person. So yeah, Camille's been a wonderful breath of fresh air character for me to play, and also to just like see on the page someone that I can relate to before I even get a chance to play her.
Yes, all of the women are so dynamic. And getting into Ty's character, Jerry, I seen you posting stuff about like statistics as far as Black women in tech, and let alone Black women that are queer and in tech. Can you talk about the importance of Ty's character on the show?
Yeah, actually, I lived in San Francisco for 3 years, so I do have a lot of tech friends who worked at Google, friends who worked at YouTube, and Black people in the tech sector usually like come together because it's like we're here in this white ass space and we have to like find a safe space for ourselves. The unfortunate reality is there isn't a lot of data on Black queer women in the tech space, but there is a lot of data on the pay disparities. There's not many, if not, I think there's probably like one Black woman who like owns her own tech company, but Black queer women in white dominated tech spaces, which is all tech spaces, there's not a lot of data because the environment could be so harsh that people are afraid to come out. Which is when you watch the show, there is a little bit regarding like you see Ty in a flashback, and you get to feel what it feels like for her when she was navigating this white space, and how powerful it is that now she is the CEO. She's the CEO of a company that she truly believes in and sticks by. And both her being a CEO and her creating this app are things that haven't been done. And this app is a safe space for queer women or queer people of color to date, which I think is something that we need. If anybody has a pain, or something, who knows how to make an app, let's get Q out and running. Okay. But she's iconic in that way that like we've never seen this before on TV.
I'm gonna go ahead and kick it off with you, Grace. So the show, first of all, Good job for the both of you. It's relatable, it's real, but at the same time, it seems exciting. Can you tell us what your favorite part of shooting Harlem has been?
Oh, girl. Why would you ask me that, girl? Why would you ask me that? There are so many amazing, wonderful parts. If I had to choose one, it's that did you see the whole season?
I didn't get to see the whole season.
You see the whole season. Okay, so this is all I'm gonna tell you. But in the last episode, there's a very, very, very long scene between Camille and Quinn where they are inebriated. System. And a whole bunch of things go down. And what I love about it is that there's so many truths that come out during that time, as would happen if you're under the influence of something or another. And what I really loved, just that kind of openness and just that exposure of self and coming to terms with oneself and having a safe place to do it. And so I think that scene, it was a very, very long scene. I think that probably had to be one of my favorite scenes to shoot.
Awesome. And we all can relate to that. Nearly everyone can. And getting into the characters, Shaniqua, I would love to know from you, how can you relate to Angie and what do you think she brings to the friend group? They're so diverse and dynamic, every girl in the group.
Okay. I relate to Angie in honestly a variety of ways. I feel like she's a woman that I've been stereotyped as in my regular life, but not, and because people have seen mockings of her, right? So they see a little bit of someone playing a sassy best friend, or they see a little bit of a joke, or they hear a Shaniqua or something like that being made into something trivial in someone else's story, and then try to relate it and place that on me. And I'm so grateful that this woman is given a chance to be a real human being, not something that's a stereotype, not just a figment or a joke for someone else, but a genuinely complex human being with wants and dreams that she's pursuing. And I relate to that, the artistry of knowing exactly why you're here, but not seeing it manifested yet. That's something I think that all artists, or even people who are pursuing any goal career-wise, can relate if you haven't quite met it yet. And what I think she adds is that she's a truth teller. I feel like in the group, Angie is a mirror. I think with her, you can't have a conversation and not see yourself, because she's going to relate the real to you. Even if you're lying to yourself, she's going to show you authentically who she is, who you are, or what you're hiding. But I also think the women do the same thing for her as well, which is like the amazing dynamic of great friendships.
Yes, every friendship, you hit the nail on the head. Every friendship does have a little bit of that, or it should at least.
Yes.
Keep it all the way 100. And to finish it off, I would love to know from the both of you, because you guys both touched on realism and the truth of it all, but there's still exciting moments. There's humor. There's even eye candy. We want to know, what do you think the fans are going to enjoy the most about Harlem?
That's impossible. Like which is why I think we love the show, because I'm already hearing different things. Like some people are loving the physical representation. Some people are loving the different experiences that they can relate to. Some people are loving that it's in Harlem and they feel that cultural connection. Some people are just loving their profession. Some people are loving the inclusion, the diversity. There's so much, the fashion that people are really loving. And so I guess the one thing that I would really want people to see and love is some type of resonance, reverberance, representation of self. That would be my number one thing. I hope you see you. I hope you see someone you know. I hope you see some kind of experience, just a facet of you that you can say, that feels true, that makes me feel seen. I love that.
Oh my goodness. Do you want to add anything, Shaniqua?
Honey, that is it. That is the dream, right? Even as an actor and also as a consumer, or our audience members, to be able to look up and see yourself, or someone that you recognize, especially when you haven't been able to see yourself often in a serious way. And then also to have people relate and see themselves in you as an actor is a testament. It's like, oh, well, hold on, did I do a good job then? Like, it's just, I love you. But it's like two things that like I feel grateful as an actor, but also grateful as an audience member, as someone who's been yearning for these visuals and these women all of my life.
What was the primary mission when writing Harlem? Because all of the talent had such amazing things to say about it, and I have to know where it came from.
It came from a couple places. One at the time, because I wrote this a long time ago. That's the irony of this, but I wrote it a long time ago, and in the marketplace at that point was Girls and Broad City. And I watched both of them and appreciated them, but also felt like, again, Black and brown people were kind of gentrified out of those shows. And I just was like, this is not the New York that I see and that I love. And it was, you know, Friends, Sex and the City was like so much erasure of like Black and brown culture in New York that I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to write something set in New York and something that really chronicles my life and my experiences. So really Harlem is like the most personal thing I've written, like with First Wives and Girls Trip. Those were personal too, but they were older and had life experiences that I didn't have when I was writing it. Just to put him, I was, you know, in my 20s writing Girls Trip and was nowhere near married, nowhere near kids, and just writing about like moms and families and channeling what I knew of it into it, but I wasn't living that stuff. The only thing that I had in common with them was like, we're all Black women, but as far as life experiences, I didn't have that. With this show, this is my life. Like, this is my age range. It's what, you know, I was going through at the time and what I'm still kind of grappling with. So it was just a personal thing for me. And also setting it in Harlem was kind of a political statement in some way. I just wanted to remind the world that like Harlem exists. And I just found it to be such a magical, beautiful place when I was living there. And I just really wanted to show it some love, honestly.
You did it justice, I have to say. Another question I would love to know is, okay, so you talked about other shows not really showing too many Black women, but when we do have the ones that focus on Black women and sisterhood and friendship, I still think that this show stands out for a couple different reasons, and I would love to know what you think those reasons might be.
Ooh. Now I want to flip it on you and ask, but I don't know what you're gonna say, but all I can speak to for myself is that I made a conscious effort to have different types of Black women represented. It was very deliberate to do different body types and sexuality and complexions and styles and cultural upbringings, all of that, because I was like, I get tired of really pretty Black people all in one show, and I get tired of supermodel skinny like types, and I'm like, we don't really look like that. We're like beautifully flawed, and like I've always felt like I've related more to real looking women, so that's just what I am attracted to. And also I fight really hard to not fall into the colorism trap, so that really, really bothers me when I see a lot of that. So I don't know what you're gonna say, but I do know that when I'm looking at stuff, I'm coming from a place of love, and I'm trying to make Black women feel good when they watch stuff, rather than feeling like, oh, I'm not light enough, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not enough. Like, it truly is coming from a loving place when I do it, so.
No, spot on. And not even just from me, but the other talent, they all kind of mentioned that to some extent, just the variety and like how dynamic it is amongst the different women. And that is so crucial. Like, we don't see enough of that. So thank you for doing that. The show is amazing. I can't wait to finish it. And I can't wait for the world to see it, honestly.
I really appreciate you. Like, I think you're being genuine, so I appreciate that.
No, I promise.
Okay.
I wouldn't lie to you.
I hope you know what it's taking. You know this baby's for the begging. Kitty, kitty, baby, get her things to rest. Cause you done beat her like the 68 Jets.